Hey guys, I just played the DLC. I believe it's going to be the only DLC for The Last of Us, which is called Left Behind. And um, honestly, I really did like it. But if basically what it boils down to is, are you willing to pay $15 for what's going to be up to a 3-hour addition to the main game? So if you don't want to spend the extra money, then you know I'm not gonna. It's not gonna change your mind that much. It's basically kind of like a prologue to The Last of Us. And honestly, if you haven't played that game yet, why aren't you? And if you're thinking about playing the DLC and didn't even play the game yet, you shouldn't do that because it's gonna spoil a very important moment in that game. So if I were you, just play The Last of Us, and then if you're interested, then play the DLC. Honestly, to me, even though it's $15, it seems steep for 3 hours of gameplay. I honestly enjoyed every single minute of it. I don't regret it, and I recommend it. So now we're gonna talk about why this DLC is actually pretty good compared to all the other DLCs, story campaigns I see for other games. First off, if you ever played a game like Crisis Core, like you know what's gonna happen in the end. This is basically what it is. It's basically it happens right before The Last of Us, and it has a one new character. Her name is Riley, who is Ellie's best friend that she hasn't seen for a long time, and I'm not going to talk much about her character right now in case if people are watching. Like I said, there's going to be major spoilers on here, so if you are interested in playing the DLC, play it right now. If you're interested in playing The Last of Us, then play that right now. If I'm not going to change your mind about spending $15 on this DLC, but honestly, to me, it is worth it. So now we're going to spoil a lot. So Riley is Ellie's best friend, and she's going to join up with the Fireflies. And basically, the whole game, the DLC, the timeline, it's switching between two different timelines. One is when Ellie sees Riley for the last time, and the other one is when Joel. I forgot where it happened, but Joel had the rebarb through his stomach, and then Ellie is trying to heal him, patch him up. So it happens right after that part where Joel has fallen off the horse, and Ellie has to take care of him during the winter. So let's see, the winter part, that's when there's mostly the combat, and the one with Riley, that's more exploration. So if you're looking for a combat heavy DLC, you're not going to get much in here. But for if you like exploring, you like the story, you like the characters, then I really recommend this DLC. Basically, it's like watching a 3-hour movie, and sometimes you play it, and it feels like Heavy Rain in a way, but it does have actual combat in it. But yeah, let's see. Riley is a very good character. You wish that you seen her in the Last of Us game, but you know even though you only spend up to 2 hours with the character, she is well written, just like Ellie. She has a great personality, and I don't know who the voice actress is, but she did a damn good job. And Ellie is still Ellie, and she is still great. So, that's their friendship is the main reason to play this game. So you could experience it, and it is a great experience. But if I do have any problems with it, yeah, it's 3 hours long. I wish I had more, but you know what? It ended at the right moment. It gave me, it did it justice. So it all depends on you. If you don't like The Last of Us game, then don't play the DLC. If you don't like Ellie, don't play it. So yeah, I'm going to talk about more of the story and combat. For the combat, you're not playing as Joel, you're playing as Ellie. And she is inexperienced. And the only weapon she could carry is just her knife, a handgun, a bow, and a rifle. But you don't get the bow and rifle first. You only get the handgun, but you don't have any bullets. You don't have any items, you don't have anything in your inventory, so you have to scavenge. And because she is not Joel, she's inexperienced, she is definitely weaker. So you have to really rely on stealth. And you know what? That is a whole lot different than playing as Ellie in The Last of Us. because by that point she already knows how to fight. She can take care of herself. But in this one, you really, really have to watch out because, yeah, you could die a lot. So it relies on being clever and being stealthy, and you're fighting, you know, the infected and the military guys, or the rebels, or I don't know exactly who they are. I think they're the cannibals. So, but because what's different about this one is that usually what happened in The Last of Us, you fight the infected, then you take a brief moment, and then you fight the military guys. They're not in the same room, the infected and the military guys. So this one is unique because there are sections where you have to protect yourself not just from the infected but from the military guys. So you have to either get the military guys to kill off all the infected, or make the infected kill off all the military guys. Or you could try to kill them both at the same time. So it depends on how well you know how to scavenge, how well you know how to craft, and how well you use your items. I mean, I think you can get through the game without going into combat, but I think that's kind of difficult, especially for the last part. You do have to kill off everyone, and that's the problem. Before it was up to like 6 guys, 6 infected, then all of a sudden the end point, you have to fight off like 20 military guys and infected, and that was extremely tough. So, as you're watching this, when you have to go back to Joel, craft everything you can. It's gonna help you. And search every nook and cranny for ammo and everything, because it's gonna save you in the end. The final fight is brutal. So, yeah, that's the combat for the story. What makes Riley very unique? She is one of the Fireflies, but she wants to make amends with Ellie because they argued the last time they met each other, and you're wondering what they're arguing about. It is because that Riley wants to join up with the Fireflies, and you have a long conversation with Riley, and most of it is actually optional. I mean, there's brief silent moments, but you realize there's a triangle above Riley, and you could keep continuing the conversation, which is very good because I enjoyed the entire conversations, every single conversation I had with Riley. And they goof off. I mean, they're best friends. They're like 14 to 16 years. I forgot how old Ellie is, but I think Riley's a little bit older than her. But you could see that they're actually best friends. And the chemistry is extremely well done. And then you wish, even though you know what happens to Riley by playing the original game, you don't really fully know how it happened. So, you know, there's a moment where, you know, there's a lot of optional stuff too, because they do a photo booth, and you could take different poses, and you could actually send it on Facebook, and which I did. I just wanted to see what else you could send through Facebook on this, but that turns out to be the only one, which I think is kind of unnecessary, but oh well, I just tried it just to see what happens. And, you know, Ellie loves puns, Riley loves puns, so Riley gave her a pun book, and you don't have to listen to every single pun, but the optional conversations are great. They feel authentic, and they sound like what normal teenage girls sound like. There's a moment where Ellie was asking this 8-ball thing, but it's in the shape of a skull, and it gives, you know, morbid answers. So she asked for, can I have breasts in the future? Am I going to get breasts in the future? And it says unlikely or something like that. She's like, fuck you. So that was good. Them goofing off is great. And honestly, I like that part compared to Ellie trying to find medication for Joel. Even though I did like it, I like the scavenging part. I like The Last of Us gameplay. But at the same time, you're wondering if it should have been there at all. It should have focused more on Riley and Ellie, but you know what? The length is actually good for both parts. So, but then you realize something new about Ellie. That, wow, there wasn't even a hint of that while playing the main game. Like I said, I'm spoiling now, so if you don't want to watch the rest of this, go ahead. Just play the game, play the DLC for what you know. Okay. Ellie and Riley are lesbians. They actually love each other. And I did not expect that at all. At first I thought it's like, oh, they're just best friends who happen to be girls. No, no, no. They actually kiss each other on the lips, and it was intimate, and it was romantic. And Ellie was kind of embarrassed about it at first, but Riley just let it go. So, you know, I didn't think that while playing the main game, and I was like, wow, I kind, you know, I never knew. The writing is so good, and this is an optional DLC. You don't have to play it if you don't want to, but now you know something new about Ellie. And you know, I gave you know, Naughty Dog has balls. This could have been taken the wrong way, but it actually worked. Everything worked. Um, they Ellie, there's a very beautiful moment where Ellie and Riley gets to the arcade, and nothing works. And the main game she always wanted to play couldn't work, but Riley's like, close your eyes, use your imagination, and then you play like a fighting simulator, but all you see is Ellie's facial expressions, and it's well done. And Riley, and then you have to press the buttons while Riley tells the story about what happens, you know, in the fighting game. So, wow, it is great. So, right after Ellie and Riley kiss, all shit goes to hell, and you're like, no, you want to continue. You want to know more about the friendship. And then, you know, Riley and Ellie barely escapes. Ellie got bitten, as you know in the main game. It showed the bite on her, but then you realize Riley also got bitten. At this point, they didn't know that Ellie didn't know that she's gonna be immune. So, you know, they're extremely upset. And Riley even said, you have three options, or two options. One, we could shoot each other in the head, which she prefers not to. Or the second one, keep fighting it. Keep fighting the infection. Probably something good is going to happen, even though the chances are dire. And you know what? It just ends right there. It doesn't show Riley getting killed off. You just know it's going to happen. And you see the extreme emotions on Ellie's face when she realizes that, you know, chances are they're going to be infected. They're going to die from this. And you see in the main game, by the ending, that Ellie is, you know, confused and upset on why is she immune but not Riley. So, yeah, they didn't really explain Riley's death. So, and I don't want to, because Riley is such a good character. I don't want to know if she actually killed herself, or she shot herself, or Ellie shot her, had no choice. It doesn't even go to that. So if you're wondering if that ever happened, no, no, no. They don't describe Riley's death. All you know is that she's dead. That's the key point. And Ellie's willing to do whatever, was willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that she was alive and everything is back to normal, but it can never be normal. So, yeah, the DLC is worth it. It is great. It depends. If you're the kind of person who believes that $15 is not worth it for 3 hours of gameplay, that's okay with you. It is completely optional. But for a storytelling experience, especially if you love The Last of Us and you love Ellie, I recommend it. Get it. It is so worth it. And it's a shame that Naughty Dog isn't going to do another DLC, but probably that's a good thing. You know, just leave it. It's perfect the way it is. And this DLC is also perfect the way it is. And it is not half-assed, it is not cheap looking. It's a whole new level, and they actually thought about every single detail of the level, of the character, of the design, and everything, and it shows. And I'm glad about that. I was a bit worried that it's going to be a cash-in, but no, it isn't. It isn't. So, you know what? To me, $15 for this DLC is worth it. Probably it should have been more, because there are some games where you could complete within 2 hours, but it costs $60. So yeah, get it. I recommend you, if you're recommend it to you if you're the Last of Us fan, get this DLC. That's all I have to say.